Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 5 of the Pack a Day podcast here on YouTube. I'm your host, Andy Herman. Of course, you can always follow me on Twitter at AndyHermanNFL. Got a few different things that I want to discuss today. I'm going to jump right in to make sure that I can get to everything. I want to start off by the injury update from both the Packers and the Lions today. From a Packers standpoint, we found out that Kenny Clark and Randy Ramsey did not practice. We also did get some good news that Montravius Adams, Raven Green, and Billy Turner all returned to practice in some capacity. All were limited, but they all did practice. Same goes for Lucas Patrick, who of course was injured in the last game against the Vikings, but he also was able to practice in a limited capacity today. But I think the big takeaway, of course, is that Kenny Clark not able to practice, and that would be a major loss against the Detroit Lions. You're talking about a player in Adrian Peterson that doesn't matter if he's been a Minnesota Viking, a Washington footballer, I guess, as Andrew Mertag always likes to refer to them as, or now a Detroit Lion. Adrian Peterson always finds a way to have big games against the Green Bay Packers, and if that's going to be the case, you of course want your best players plugging up the middle of that defense, and that goes without saying that that's Kenny Clark. Missing him would be a major loss across the defensive line. This has been kind of my nightmare scenario for the Packers over the course of the last couple seasons. I just don't think Green Bay has the depth that they need with a Tyler Lancaster, a Montravius Adams, a Dean Lowry, a Kingsley Keke. Some of those guys are nice players, but when you put them collectively as a group, as your top 4 defensive tackles going into a game, it's frankly just not enough. So I have a high level of concern for the interior of that defensive line. Thankfully for Green Bay, Zadarius Smith is able to play on the interior, as is Rashawn Gary, so that gives them a little bit more depth there. They also signed Billy Wynn to the practice squad today. He's a veteran who has some experience playing on the inside, and Willington Prevalon could be a name that you could see called up from the practice squad this week to provide some depth if Kenny Clark isn't able to go. But I think this is going to be a major challenge for the Packers front in stopping the run. They had trouble stopping Dalvin Cook when they needed to last week, even with a healthy Kenny Clark. They had trouble stopping the 49ers and the Chargers and the Eagles and any other pretty much well-rounded running team a season ago with Kenny Clark. So sans Kenny Clark, that's going to be even more difficult. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to keep an eye on from an injury standpoint through the course of this week. And if they don't have him, how do those defensive linemen step up in his absence? If you want to look at a silver lining, I think you can always make an argument that maybe if, and this is a major if Tyler Lancaster and Kingsley Keke and Dean Lowry and that entire group can figure out how to stop the run without Kenny Clark, which again is a major if and a major challenge, well then when Kenny Clark comes back, hopefully all of those players around him are going to be better, and now you've solidified your run defense, especially once Clark is back and healthy. So I think maybe that could be a silver lining there, but maybe that's a little bit far-fetched to say the least. But Green Bay is going to be challenged on run defense. You know DeAndre Swift is going to want to bounce back from his drop touchdown a week ago, have a big performance. You know Detroit's going to want to establish the run, take a little bit of pressure off of Matthew Stafford, especially if Kenny Galladay is not going to be able to go. But again, 1A for the Packers is going to be what's up with Kenny Clark. Is he able to go this week? And is he going to be able to be active on Sunday? The next thing is the Lions injury report, and they didn't exactly get a lot of good news either. We already learned earlier this week that their slot corner, Justin Coleman, is going to go on IR for at least 3 weeks, making him out against Green Bay. Their top corner, Desmond Trufant, did not practice today. He could still go this Sunday. We don't know, but he was held out of practice today. Darrell Roberts, another one of their corners, did not go in practice today. So they are very banged up in the secondary. They did get a little bit of good news. Jeff Okudah, their first-round draft choice, did practice today, so he could be making his debut against Davante Adams. Welcome to the NFL, rookie. Your very first matchup could be one-on-one against Davante Adams. We'll see how he's up to the challenge. It could be a very fun matchup to watch. You know, anytime you get to see a top 5 pick go up against one of the best players in the NFL, that's always, popcorn worthy material. So I'll be interested to see how he does. Hopefully he plays so we can see that matchup, but I don't think Davante Adams is losing too much sleep over a secondary that includes, Jeffrey Okudah in his very first game, Amani Oruwariye as a second year player, I believe 5th or 6th round pick a season ago. So this Detroit secondary is going to look awfully similar to what Minnesota's did a week ago. And you got to think Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, MVS, Allen Lazard are hoping that that's the case and that they're going to be able to take advantage again. couple other injury notes for the Lions. Kenny Golladay did not practice again. He has also been a Packer killer, so if he's not able to play, that's another advantage for Green Bay. And then Big V, don't ask me to say his full name because nobody can say it. It's a scientific fact. Halapaludi, Vaitai, something like that. Their big free agent signing across the offensive line at right tackle. He did not practice again. He did not play last week, so that'll be another major piece for the Lions offense that'll be worth monitoring as the injury report gets updated throughout the course of the week. The next thing, and really kind of my last thing that I want to end with today, I know there's been a little bit of buzz about Odell Beckham Jr. I can guarantee you that is a trade that is not coming. All you have to know is that Green Bay still has a David Bakhtiari and an Aaron Jones and a Corey Linsley and a Kevin King to re-sign and get extensions done for next year, to tell you that Odell Beckham will not be in those plans. You know that Brian Gutekunst still comes from the Ted Thompson tree. He is not going to want to part with premium draft picks for a wide receiver. And that's not going to happen. So I know it's fun to discuss those things. It kind of feels like a little bit more of an off-season type of topic to me when maybe there's not quite as much news around. But for those hoping that Odell Beckham's going to be a Green Bay Packer, it's not coming. About the only slim, crazy chance that I could see that happening is if all of a sudden the Browns were willing to basically give him away, and for some reason something major happened to Devontae Adams where the Packers were not going to be able to have him for the remainder of the season. In that case, I could see Brian Gutekunst maybe looking to be a little bit more aggressive, bringing in a top-tier wide receiver to kind of keep things status quo. But let's hope that that's not the case, because I don't think anyone wants to see Devontae Adams get hurt. That does it for me. I hope you enjoyed this another short episode today of the Pack-A-Day podcast. You'll find me 365 days a year here on YouTube. Of course, make sure to check out Jacob, Maggie, and Jimmy on the full Pack-A-Day podcast episode, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find my articles on Packer Report. That does it for me. I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go Pack Go.